So, buckle up, because this time in Dandadan, it's going to be next-level madness. Aliens, ghosts, and romantic chaos all clashing head-on. Momo and Okarun have taken on a brand new mission, to exorcise the ghosts haunting Gigi's house. But little do they know, the real danger lurking inside that house isn't just spiritual, it's buried secrets, twisted and terrifying ones. And behind those secrets, even darker mysteries that threaten to consume them all. Will Okarun and Momo be able to uncover the truth, or will they get trapped in this new nightmare? Let's dive in. Momo is suddenly surrounded by strange people, creeping in closer. Instinctively, she lashes out using her powers to fend them off. But one man grabs her by the wrists and shoves her underwater. Just when it seems like she's done for, Momo surges back, launching an attack that shatters the hot spring dummy nearby. Scalding water bursts out. Dodging the chaos, Momo bolts. The men give chase until a chunk of the hot spring wall collapses right on them, giving her the perfect chance to escape. Or so she thinks. One guy grabs her again, right as another section of the wall crashes down, burying everyone except Momo. Confused, she looks around, and there's Turbo Granny. Yep, the same creepy spirit, now just casually soaking in the hot spring. Turns out, she had snuck into Momo's bag to enjoy the spa too. Even cursed spirits need me time, apparently. The real spa staff shows up, but instead of helping, the people chasing Momo start harassing them. We then learn these thugs belong to the infamous Kito family, a group known locally for causing supernatural trouble. Momo confronts Turbo Granny about Gigi's house, and that's when she drops a bomb. The house has absorbed a lot of human blood over the years. Yikes. Meanwhile, Gigi and Okarun are inside, staring at the hole they punched in the wall, totally stumped. They decide to wait for Momo before going further. Suddenly, the doorbell rings. They both think it must be Momo, but it's not. It's the Kito family women. Without asking, they barge in and start eating their snacks. Turns out, one of them is Gigi's landlady, and she had previously forgiven his rent. So Gigi can't really tell her off. Okarun is confused. Gigi explains, after his parents were hospitalized, the Kito family helped him out by waiving his rent. That's how he ended up living here in the first place. One woman starts interrogating Gigi about where he went earlier. He lies, saying he just went to pick up a friend. But they're not buying it. She suspects he's brought in another spirit medium. The other women get angry, insisting the house is ghost-free and he shouldn't spread rumors. Gigi defends Okarun, saying he's not a medium. One of the women pulls a gun. Yeah, a real gun. Gigi tries to calm her down, saying she could get into serious trouble with the police if she keeps threatening people. And speak of the devil, a cop walks in. But plot twist, he's also with the Kito family, and he helps the goons who were chasing Momo escape justice. Everyone thanks him like he's some kind of hero. Another man asks Gigi again where he went. Gigi sticks to his story. He was just picking up his best friend. But again, they don't believe him, so they decide to test Okarun. They ask him, what's Gigi's favorite soccer team? Because if Okarun is really his best friend, he should know that, right? Okarun answers it perfectly. Turns out, they had used Gigi's favorite soccer poster to cover the hole they made in the wall. With that, the family finally accepts that Okarun is Gigi's true friend. But now, one of the women starts asking about Momo. Gigi dodges the question. Too late, the women realize he's lying. Cut to Momo. She's arrived at a mysterious temple to see a creature called Tsuchinoko. The priest there is filming a video for BooTuber, yep, Ghost YouTube, and takes Momo to show her the creature, which looks like a snake's shed skin. Momo is skeptical. The priest tells her that once the dragon heads toward heaven, a rainbow will appear, and then the mountain's rage will flood the village. People believe there's a giant serpent inside the volcano, and when it's hungry, it erupts. So to prevent that, villagers used to sacrifice a child to the serpent. They've been doing this for over 200 years to keep the volcano calm. Now, with Tsuchinoko here, they believe it's protecting them, and human sacrifices have stopped. But the priest, he's tired of all this folklore. He wants to become a famous BooTuber. Momo casually suggests, if you want to be a BooTuber, why aren't you posting this story? That shocks him. Disappointed, Momo leaves and heads back home, excited to see how well Okarun and Gigi are bonding. But when she walks in, she finds the house in complete chaos. The Kito family has gone full cult mode. One woman announces that all the sacrifices have been gathered. Now the festival can begin. Momo doesn't hesitate. She launches into a full-on battle against the Kito men, using her powers to smash them down. But they swarm her with sheer numbers. Still, she refuses to go down easy. Suddenly, one man grabs her from behind and knocks her out cold. Turbo Granny bursts out, spooking the attacker. Momo asks for help, but Turbo Granny refuses. Momo tries to warn everyone to leave, but the cult just laughs. One woman attacks Momo, launching her into a room, the same one with the wall Gigi and Okarun had broken. There, we learn the horrifying truth. That woman? She's their mother, and she demands to know what kind of power Momo is using. Momo asks about the old woman, Turbo Granny. Turbo Granny simply calls herself a powerful old hag. Momo doesn't believe her, until Turbo Granny reminds her of her own grandmother. That hits deep. Suddenly, Momo starts to believe. But then, she smells something foul from the room. The older woman tells her, "The Kito family has been protecting this village for generations. If you're here to stop our festival, we won't let you." She explains, "For 200 years, they've been sacrificing people to the serpent god to keep the peace. The very house they're in, built specifically for sacrifices. The Kito family brings victims here and feeds them to the god." Momo's heart drops. She realizes Gigi and his family were invited here as sacrifices. Suddenly, the ground beneath Momo collapses. She tries to escape using her powers, but the Kito cultists force her back down, determined to feed her to the god. Just then, Okarun and Gigi crash down from above, sofa in hand, fighting to rescue her. But they all fall, landing deep underground. And what do they find there? A hidden subterranean village, homes, darkness, silence. And then, Gigi slips, falling straight onto something massive, a grotesque, snake-like monster. The cultists go wild, worshipping it. They declare Momo, Okarun, and Gigi as offerings to the great beast. Okarun panics. It's the Mongolian deathworm, a legendary creature known for devouring people. But even he's never seen one this huge. Despite Momo's warning, none of the cultists listen. And the deathworm? It eats them instead. The trio runs, taking shelter in one of the nearby houses. But as soon as they enter, Momo and Okarun clutch their heads. A sharp pain strikes their minds. Something's wrong. Okarun begins to lose control of Turbo Granny's power, his body morphing, turning into her. And now, he's headed straight toward Gigi. Momo and Okarun had set out to save Gigi. But now, they're the ones caught in a deadly monster trap. The Kito family has turned on them, offering them up as live sacrifices. And now, a grotesque, jointed deathworm is on the move, hungry and closing in. Can the trio survive this terrifying creature? Or is something even darker waiting for them in the shadows below? Let's find out. The situation grows worse. Okarun's out of control, thrashing wildly and trying to hurt himself. Gigi tries to stop him, but Okarun strikes him and continues hurting himself with a blade, stabbing himself in a frenzy. Gigi grabs him again, desperately trying to hold him back. But then, the deathworm attacks. That's when Gigi realizes something terrifying. The worm is using sound vibrations to track them. It can't see or hear them, but it feels their voices echoing through the underground walls. The moment they stay quiet, the monster loses them. Gigi tries to silence Okarun again, but Okarun refuses, rambling about wanting to die. Hearing that, Gigi flashes back to a heartbreaking memory. One day, he returned home from school and found his parents attempting suicide. He saved them, but they begged him to let them die. The trauma, the confusion, it all rushes back. Then suddenly, Momo picks up a shard of glass and drives it into her stomach. But she hits Turbo Granny, who had jumped in between. In pain, Turbo Granny yells at Gigi to tie them both up, fast. Gigi does it, confused and shaken, and demands to know what's happening. Turbo Granny explains. The deathworm is emitting psychic signals. Its power causes suicidal thoughts in anyone nearby. That's when it finally clicks for Gigi. That's why his parents tried to end their lives. But he still doesn't get it. Why isn't he affected like the others? Before Turbo Granny can answer, Momo hurls another shard of glass using her psychic power, intending to harm herself again. Gigi jumps in and blocks it, just in time. But that noise, the worm locks onto them. Gigi begins feeling a strange sensation, and bolts with Momo, Okarun, and Turbo Granny in his arms, trying to escape. But he stumbles, falls. Momo and Okarun break free, trying to flee on their own. And that's when the deathworm arrives. Suddenly, Gigi is enveloped in darkness. and another monstrous figure appears in front of him. This one is called Evil Eye. Turbo Granny explains, if Evil Eye looks at someone, they go insane, and soon after they commit suicide. But Evil Eye is also the reason the deathworm's psychic signals are weakening. It's not saving them intentionally, it just cancels out the worm's signal. Realizing this, Momo tells Okarun to attack while they have the chance. Okarun, powered by Turbo Granny, charges up and blows the deathworm's head clean off. Victory? Not quite. The worm regenerates, snapping back with even more rage. They start running again. Turbo Granny warns everyone, avoid looking into Evil Eye's eyes, no matter what. And just then, Gigi realizes his parents didn't die because of Evil Eye. They died because of something far worse. Suddenly, Evil Eye steps in front of Gigi, and Gigi is pulled into a vision. Flashback. We see the village, long ago. Evil Eye was once just a boy. Watching children play from afar, he dreams, if only I could play with them. But he's trapped, locked up in a dark room, starving. A prisoner destined to be sacrificed to the serpent god. His body weakens, and then the Kito family completes the sacrifice. The volcano erupts. He burns. He dies. But in his final moment, he prays, I wish I could just play with someone, and that wish is granted. Years pass. A house is built over his old prison, and a boy living there begins to see him. But the moment he does, his parents die. One by one, more houses are built over the same place. More deaths follow, all because, under the surface, the deathworm was still alive, manipulating everything, twisting the innocent wish of a boy into a trail of death. But Evil Eye, he just wanted to play. He sees the Kito family matriarch again. She's burying a child alive, next to a house. Evil Eye tries to save him, but he's powerless. And that's when he decides, I'll never forgive anyone. I'll kill them all. Back in the present, Gigi wakes up from the vision. Momo tries to snap him out of it, pull Evil Eye away from him. But Gigi stops her. He tells her, Evil Eye isn't evil. He's been fighting the deathworm all along. He's just suffered too much. Determined, Gigi dives deep into the lowest basement, hoping to find Evil Eye's original body. To set him free, Momo is confused. Turbo Granny tries to stop Gigi, insisting that Evil Eye is dangerous and deserves no sympathy. But Gigi says, he's just like me. We should believe in him. Suddenly, the deathworm strikes with a burst of electricity, trapping them in a thick, sticky liquid. Momo turns to Turbo Granny and yells, What happened to my good luck? Granny replies, Your good luck? Right now, it's with the enemy. Momo loses it. Meanwhile, poor Okarun is too drained to move after using his powers. Momo struggles to escape the goo, but Gigi is now fully influenced by Evil Eye. He reaches out to him, whispers, I understand your pain. I'll stay with you forever. Let's play. And just like that, Evil Eye fully possesses Gigi. Right as the deathworm launches another electric strike, the worm lunges at Momo, but bam! Gigi, now transformed into Evil Eye, kicks the worm away. Now fully awakened, Evil Eye grins. He turns to the humans. Let me show you what hell really looks like. Momo tries to talk him down, but Turbo Granny shouts for her to stay back. Too late. Evil Eye attacks Momo. She deflects with her psychic powers, barely. Turbo Granny warns him to stop, but Evil Eye doesn't listen. Momo pleads with Gigi to wake up, but Evil Eye responds coldly. This body is mine now. The deathworm attacks again, but Evil Eye blasts it back, then gathers all the gadgets and tools from the corpses littering the area. He compresses them into a glowing metal ball, and with a manic grin, starts playing soccer with it. Using it as a weapon, he launches it at the deathworm again and again. The monster, overwhelmed, retreats, slipping away through a tunnel. Momo watches, stunned. She turns to Turbo Granny. What's happening to Gigi? Granny sighs. She recalls how Momo's grandmother always said, Gigi is a genius, and now Momo finally understands. Gigi has massive spiritual power and an equally powerful body. The perfect target for possession. Momo asks, but he wasn't like this as a kid. What changed? Granny answers, just like your powers awakened with age. Gigi's are now awakening too. And now, he is Evil Eye. Suddenly, Evil Eye hurls his weapon ball straight at Momo. She blocks it. Barely. But he rushes in and kicks her, launching her across the room. He charges up the ball again, ready to finish her. But just in time, Okarun steps in. and the sheer power of his and Evil Eye's clash. Previously, Evil Eye had taken over Gigi and launched a ruthless attack on Momo, but just in time, Okarun jumped in between them. Now the question is, can Okarun really stand a chance against the overwhelming power of Evil Eye? Or will Momo have to save him once again? Let's dive into what happens next. Okarun tries his best to block Evil Eye's attack, but he's clearly being overpowered. Realizing he can't win in a straight-up fight, he grabs Momo and decides they need to escape. Fast. But Evil Eye isn't about to let them off easy. He starts hurling his energy balls at them while they dodge left and right. Momo does everything she can to help Okarun, but even together, they're no match. Their only real option? Run. That's when they spot something strange. The deathworm seems to be doing something ominous. Momo asks what's going on, and Okarun explains. Deathworms weaken their enemies using electric shocks and poisonous sprays. It's how they kill. Momo immediately realizes they have to get out. Now. But then comes the problem. How exactly do they escape? The only exit is way above them. There's no way they can reach that high on their own. Does this deathworm have a weakness? Momo wonders aloud. Okarun recalls something he once read in a magazine. These creatures are similar to bacteria, and just like bacteria, they can't stand sunlight. That's it. The plan becomes clear. They need to drag the worm into sunlight. But how? And most importantly, what about Gigi? They can't just leave him behind. I'll help you escape on your own, Momo, Okarun says. No way, I'm not leaving you, she snaps. We don't have time to argue. Once you're up there, you'll figure out a way to pull us up, he insists. That's fine, but how are you even going to get Gigi? He's not even listening to us. Just trust me, Momo. I will bring Gigi. But for now, please, just get out. Momo finally agrees. Okarun transforms and seats Momo on a couch. Yes, a literal couch, with the plan to launch her out of the pit. Momo gets scared and tells him to stop, but Okarun doesn't listen. With a powerful kick, he launches her upward. Momo uses her psychic powers mid-air to push herself further up. But even that's not enough. She starts falling again, until she manages to grab the edge of the pit and finally pulls herself out. Meanwhile, Evil Eye locates Okarun and prepares for battle. The two clash again. Now that Momo is above ground, she tries to find a rope or something to help pull the others out, but there's nothing. Thinking quickly, she rips the curtains and ties them into a makeshift rope. But the moment she throws it down, she realizes this flimsy rope won't hold. She shifts her plan. What if I just destroy the deathworm instead? That's when a memory hits her, something Gigi once told her. Inspired, Momo sets the entire house on fire and begins shouting for the fire brigade at the top of her lungs. Back underground, Evil Eye is playing football, with Okarun as the ball. But let's be honest, this match is one-sided. Okarun is barely managing to dodge. Then Evil Eye switches the game, turning it into a brutal head kick tournament. He combines his football strikes with vicious punches, putting Okarun through hell. Still, Okarun endures. Stop running around like a rat, Evil Eye yells. You're irritating me. Good, Okarun replies, bloodied but determined. Because I want to take this fight seriously. I want to use all my power. At that same moment, Gigi starts bleeding from the nose, a result of the deathworm's poison. Evil Eye notices and decides to end the fight right now. Using his football, he traps Okarun in a psychic space, a sort of mind prison. Inside, Okarun hears the screams of all those sacrificed by the Kito family, voices filled with pain and horror. He tries to break free, but fails. Then Evil Eye enters the space too, engaging Okarun in close combat. Blow after blow, he batters Okarun with ruthless delight. This is fun, isn't it? Evil Eye grins. After you, I'm going to torture that girl. Suddenly, Okarun grabs Evil Eye by the face. You've crossed the line, he says coldly. There are some things you just don't do, and you've done 3 of them. 1, you hurt Momo. 2, you possessed my friend. Gigi would never hurt Momo, and you made him do it. So now, give me my friend back. Evil Eye attacks again, but this time, Okarun ducks and delivers a full-speed punch to his gut. Then, channeling all his fury, Okarun unleashes a storm of blows. Punch after punch, 5 full sets of 20 punches rain down on Evil Eye. The psychic space shatters. Evil Eye goes flying out and passes out. And the third thing you should never have done, Okarun mutters as he collapses, was, make me angry. Okarun blacks out, but soon after, he regains consciousness. He knows he has to get up, quickly, before Momo returns to help. He lifts Gigi's unconscious body and prepares to carry him up, but then he hears a familiar voice. It's Turbo Granny, trapped in the death worm's poisonous fluid. She's panicking, thinking she's going to be stuck forever. But Okarun appears just in time. She breaks down in tears. Overjoyed, Okarun begins building a wooden bridge across the poisonous fluid to reach her, and pulls her out with all his strength. But the moment she gets free, they both fall into the goo. You're so useless, Granny shouts. Why didn't you use my powers, idiot? I already used your power twice today. I can't transform again. So what? We're just going to die now, she screams. Guess it's time to say our goodbyes, he says. Maso, please save us. They both scream. Cut to the surface. The fire brigade has arrived, trying to extinguish the flames. The police begin interrogating Momo, asking if she started the fire. She admits it, and begins exposing the Kito family's crimes. But the police don't believe her, and ask her to come to the station. Momo doesn't have time. The sun is about to set. She begs the firemen to spray a ton of water into the ground, but no one listens. Suddenly the ground rumbles. An earthquake. People scream. The death worm bursts out of the house, shattering the walls. Everyone panics. And finally, Momo's plan becomes clear. The sunlight begins to burn the worm. Flashback. Momo and Gigi's childhood. Momo, do you know why earthworms come out of the ground when it rains? No idea. They breathe through their skin. So when the soil absorbs water, they can't breathe and are forced to the surface, but the heat kills them. That's why it's called earthworm suicide. Back to the present. The firemen had drenched the underground chamber with water, suffocating the death worm. In a panic, it surfaced, only to be met with sunlight. The death worm hides behind the house's remaining walls. Momo sees this, and without hesitation, lifts a fire truck and smashes the house apart. The death worm starts to burn, and finally collapses. Momo approaches to check if it's truly dead. But the worm twitches. She gasps, and then the worm vomits out the entire Kito family. You're all still alive? That's insane. The head of the Kito family snarls. How dare you betray the serpent god? How could you do this to him? Momo fires back. You're still defending him? He ate you, remember? Sorry, but I don't have time for this. I have to go save Okarun and the others. Suddenly, the ground shakes again. A volcano erupts in the distance. Momo looks up, stunned. The true threat has only just begun.